Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Summer Season Scrappin' with Sarah and I. We sincerely hope you've enjoyed coming along with us this summer on this series. It's been a pleasure doing so many different pages with Sarah, so much different inspiration. I am back with some travel inspiration, and if you guys have not followed along with the series so far, make sure you subscribe, make sure you go check back on all the videos we did. I am going to be sharing with you today another page in my travel album I started. If you want to know what's happening, what's going on, my thoughts on these albums, etc., you can always check out my Patreon, which will be linked down below if you're interested. Now, what I really liked about this page was it touches on the adventure aspect of our series. So if you look at our photo and prompt checklist, you can check out that at the end of this video. But I have so many different things on there. And one of the things I think we all did in our childhoods, we want to do with our kids, we're doing currently with our kids, XYZ, we're doing with our partners, our pets, whoever. We travel, we go places, we do things, day trips, quick weekend trips, whether it's a long one, a short one, whatever it is. There's this idea that summer is all about experiences and going on adventures and doing stuff. So I wanted a really fun page for my album at the start of it. If you guys missed last time, I did the title page for this album, and I'll be continuing to share more of this album, just continuing to, share different pages. Some will be on Patreon, some will be here on YouTube, but the summer's not going to stop just because the fall's creeping in. I love working on projects that are out of season for some reason, maybe just holding on to that last bit of summer for a little bit longer. But what I wanted to do was have this really fun page at the beginning of this cruise album to lay out what's ahead. And since this is a consolidated album, it's not an everything album. I don't want this to be chock full of pages. I really want to concentrate on a lot of photos per page rather. So with that, I wanted to lay out an itinerary, which I think is perfect for, as I said, you could do it for day trips with all your road stops. You could do it with a weekend trip with all the places you visited, all the museums you might visit. There's so many different options. But these list pages are some of my favorites. I think they're interactive and fun, and you can really do them in so many different ways. And I wanted to use the Heidi Swapp Sun Chaser collection again, which I've used previously in this album already. It is so beautiful. This little rainbow swash 6x8 paper I pulled out from that paper pad is absolutely gorgeous. Lucky enough for me, I've pulled out some labels to use here. These ones are from Ellie Studio. I have so many favorite labels across the different companies in scrapbooking world right now, but Ellie Studio had some perfect colors for Sun Chaser, so I went along with that. Now, you saw me pull out my phone because I had to verify how many tabs I wanted to use on this. Now, this was a 7-day cruise, but one of the ports is the port you go back to. So I didn't want to really list that one twice. It's kind of, already in my mind. So I only wanted to list our starting port once. So I ended up only with 6 tabs, which I think flows better on the page. But I really wanted that bold itinerary title at the top there. But since it is so bold, I wanted to get some more darkness onto this page. It's a lot of color. The black stands out. So I go through my stamps and pull out this set. Now, it's a really old recollection set. I never saw anyone else talk about these. They were like a 3-page stamp set, and they were all travel themed. But this one I ended up pulling out here actually has a couple pieces. So it has one that's like a postage stamp and one that's a compass rose, and that's what I'll be adding to my background to add more of that dark black in there without overwhelming the page. So then, before I stamp the background, I wanted to add some numbers to my cute little label. So I pull out this Avery L set here, and what I like about these numbers is they aren't exactly hand-drawn, but they're not super clean and neat, since I will have my handwriting next to them. They're more of a more doodle style, more whimsical font than I would normally go for, but since my handwriting will be next to them, I just want to make sure the numbers are legible so the order makes sense, and so forth. But like I said, I want to stamp some background items, but I'm going to work on these labels first, because if I mess one up, I need to find a replacement. So as I said, I'm going to write down each port that we had. So I had Miami to start, and then our days at sea. I also wanted to indicate that way someone who's going through the album who did not go on the trip can understand that some days we would spend more time on the boat than others. And I'm just really excited to scrapbook this entire trip. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to imagine once I finish one, everybody's going to want one. So hopefully you guys like repeat pages, because we might be doing this trip a couple times for everybody who went on it, so you can have those memories. As I had mentioned before, I do want to layer some more darkness in the background. So here's this postage stamp that I pulled out, just using some StazOn black, jet black ink for that. And I wanted to layer them sort of in the top left and right corners again to kind of give that triangle effect, that nice linear look for these moments of darkness on the page because I don't want to overwhelm the page with darkness. I just don't want the title to stand out too harshly. As we go on here, I need to make sure my letters are on straight, which is a little bit harder than you'd imagine. So as I put them into place, I ensure that I'm using my T-square ruler. Now, what I did find out was it seemed like some of them were taller than others, so it's not 100% perfect. There's a little gap at the end. Luckily, I'm not a perfectionist, and I can live with that. And I get them all into place there. We abandon the T-square ruler. You guys know how it goes. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So even though I have a little gap at the end, I don't really mind. I think it looks fine either way. Apologies if it bothers you. And then we're going to adhere everything into place, which is honestly the scariest part because I wasn't sure if I was going to fill in anything else. I have all these beautiful stickers from Heidi Swap and from a couple other designers over here, but the Sun Chaser collection is what I really have in my heart at the moment for this project. So I pull out some of the puffy stickers. I want a little bit more dimension on this page. It is feeling rather flat. I did consider putting the palm leaves, which were just something I had in my stash for a while now. I considered putting those on some foam to give it some dimension, but I don't need a ton of dimension in this album. It is a flip book from Simple Stories. It's not a D-ring album, so I am kind of looking at slimmer options. So I don't want anything too crazy in there. But then I'm going to glue these on with some Scotch Quick Dry, nothing too crazy. And I want to make sure that they're in place securely because they will be on the edge. Now, I look at wood veneer. I look at all sorts of things I could add to add, just some sprinkles. If you guys know, I do love a good sprinkle, whether it's, spritzing mist, whether it is like crystals or gems or enamel dots or sequins. So I go in here, I have these gorgeous little wood veneer, and I think it adds this natural element because obviously a lot of these pages will be in nature. On the islands, in the forest that we toured, there'll be a lot of fun stuff in here, and I think this is a nod to that. It helps kind of mute out a little bit of the rainbow. Now, these asterisks, although that's what they are, I'm treating them more as stars, so they don't mean anything for where I'm placing them on like which days they're near. It's not like day 2, day 4, and day 6 had something special about them. That's not the case, but I could see why someone would interpret it that way. But once I get all those in place, then I glue down my puffy stickers with some more Scotch Quick Dry, my favorite glue at the moment. And then I come in with some sequins. These are some from Cat Scrappiness that I got in an order a long time ago, so I'm afraid they do not have this mix anymore, but there's tons of mixes out there of some different product links down below if you guys are interested in buying anything you've seen in this video. Luckily, the Sun Chaser collection is still slightly available online, so I'll be sure to link that below if you're falling in love with it like I did. But I hope you guys sincerely enjoyed this page. Here are the close-ups. If you have not checked out Sarah's video, please go check it out. She's done so many bright and whimsical pages this summer so far. We really hope you've enjoyed this series. Let us know if you ever want us to see a different series in the future. But thank you guys so much for joining me for a non-photo page again, but I think these are equally important in our storytelling journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. Here is our prompt list. If you have not seen it and have not participated yet, we would love to see your pages. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.